Kaiju, one of Japan's iconic concepts in fiction. Countless stories focus on it. Naturally, Akira Toriyama has a fondness for these popular icons, having them appear during the run of Dr. Slump. What better way to follow up on his fascination than to continue placing them in randomly?
Hey yo, is that a reference?
I mean, hell, you can't tell me the Great Ape isn't somewhat inspired, coincidence or not. However, there is one creature that truly represents the spirit of kaijus. A Leviathan, the ultimate Phantom Majin. He's here. But before we do, let me waste another 10 hours explaining why movie scaling doesn't make sense.
No more, not this time.
After how many times I must repeat my arguments and add more reasons in every new installment, I think we get the point. Sorry to any newcomers, but if you want a detailed explanation, just watch any of my previous videos. Otherwise, here's a quick debunk of why movie characters do not scale to the anime or other films. 1. Toriyama said so because multiverse theory. 2. Koyama said so because multiverse theory. 3. The guidebook said so because multiverse theory. 4. The franchise says so because multiverse theory. Lastly, 5. I said so because multiverse theory. Yes, technically the guidebook says movie 13 could happen after the Boo saga, but every other movie entry says otherwise. If you watch all my previous videos and still disagree, well, let's be honest here, power scaling never makes sense in fiction. Why should my videos make any sense either? So let's just get into the true terrors of Phantom Majin Hirudegarn. We started off by having the demon curb stomping Venusian while technically nerfed. We then see that Hoi, the most obvious alien antagonist with terrible subtlety, successfully tricks Gohan and the heroes into summoning Shenron to open a music box that contains a hero who can stop the demon. Without any objections, they stupidly accomplish their goal and free the hero. In doing so, they also release Hirudegarn's upper half, causing both Gohan and Goku to sense an ominous ki spewing out of Tapion, or perhaps it was Tapion's ki. Either way, with Tapion free, he struggles to keep the Majin seal within himself. Later that night, Gohan and Videl encounters Hirudegarn's lower body, destroying an entire city. Gohan eventually takes it seriously and goes into his mystic form, but even at his level, Hirudegarn impressively tanks his hits. Even so, Gohan quickly deduces his weakness that when attacking, Hirudegarn's intangibility is inactive. Also, I don't want to hyper-emphasize this point, but sadly it's useful. In the opening, Gohan can casually react and catch bullets, unironically the only useful speed feat in this film. Mystic Gohan would only be faster. We don't know how much exactly, but the power-up would be relative to Goku's Super Saiyan 3 multiplier, if not above a 4,000 times boost when including the Great Form multipliers, easily making Gohan hundreds to thousands of times Mach combat speed. Although Gohan initially takes down the beast, Gohan admits the battle's not over, but before it continues, Tapion manages to force the beast to fade away. Later, since Tapion was sleeping, he was no longer on guard, allowing Hirudegarn to break free. Before anything interesting happens though, Tapion quickly seals him back. Tapion develops a subplot in befriending Kid Trunks, while Hoi, who lo and behold, is evil, controls Hirudegarn's lower body, allowing it to consume humans to gain more energy and power. Tapion initially gets help from Bulma to create a life-size box for him to sleep and seal the demon, but due to Hirudegarn's half attracting each other, as well as becoming stronger, Tapion loses control, freeing the upper half, finally reviving the completed Hirudegarn. Tapion tries to use his ocarina to hold down Hirudegarn, but due to his increased strength, it initially develops resistance to the item. You see, Tapion previously explains Hirudegarn's backstory, how Hoi's warlock race manipulated the demon's spiritual statue that once watched over the planet and consumed its evil energy, now became its greatest threat to Tapion's world. Thankfully, the kami, or god from Tapion's planet, gave him, Venusian, Vegeta, and his priest mentor the ocarinas and swords to stop Hirudegarn. Unfortunately, all that backstory means nothing now since the Z fighters struggle to face Hirudegarn with their power. The Majin casually slaps base Goku away, even dodging his Super Saiyan 2 level attacks. Mystic Gohan noted its increased power since their last encounter, supporting the idea Hirudegarn got stronger from consuming humans and or regaining its completed form. None of the Saiyans can land a hit on the Majin except Vegeta via surprise attack. However, sadly, Vegeta underestimates the Majin and only goes regular Super Saiyan, unsurprisingly getting taken out easily. According to the library anime comic guide, it's elaborated that the Saiyans struggled against Hirudegarn due to its apparent usage of instantaneous movement, which is the same alternative name used for instant transmission, unironically giving him infinite combat speed versatility. More impressive is that Vegeta, while injured and not at his max power, can still generate a key barrier that negates Hirudegarn's flame blast. As the Daizenshuu explains, the user needs to output 2 times the ki of their opponent for it to be successful. Even when Vegeta himself admitted to underestimating Hirudegarn's power, that durability feat is low-key impressive. The two kids now face the Majin and initially land a direct hit. However, because of plot armor I guess, Hirudegarn transforms and becomes more powerful. The Majin was so strong, it beat the fusion out of the kids in one hit. Along them, both Gohan and Goku failed to beat Hirudegarn. Just then, Tapion attempts to seal the Majin again, and despite becoming more powerful than before and throwing another fire blast that can take down Vegeta's level, Tapion was strong enough to negate the attack with his ki barrier. Crazier, Tapion, albeit temporarily, sealed a stronger completed Hirudegarn inside his body and did not self-destruct. Tapion begs Kid Trunks to finish him off along with the Majin, but Hirudegarn breaks free. Then, by the power of protagonist, Goku goes Super Saiyan 3 and faces the Majin one last time. Becoming aware of Hirudegarn's weakness, Goku intentionally tanks Hirudegarn's hits directly until it's wide open for one final attack. Goku charges perhaps one of the most god tier attacks ever, the Dragon Fist, finally ending the demon for good. Now I'm sure some of y'all are unsatisfied with Hirudegarn's lack of feats, but thankfully its lore hypes up its power to stupid levels. Hirudegarn's Daizenshuu bio only downplays its destructive capacity to that of city level with its fire breath, which is something not worth harping on. It also weirdly indicates that when teleporting, Hirudegarn specifically turns into ectoplasm. Beyond that, it's confirmed that Hirudegarn got stronger from consuming humans and re-emerging together. Beyond this is where it leads to difference in headcanons and opinions. To start off, Toei Animation at one point on their website labeled Hirudegarn as the second strongest, right behind Janemba. Their logic was based on Super Saiyan 3 Goku being as strong as his Fusion Reborn counterpart, except this statement was removed by Toei themselves, and Koyama has constantly emphasized his intentions that Broly was the strongest movie villain period, therefore debunking Toei's villain tier. However, regardless of whether the villain placement is invalid or not, this can indicate that Hirudegarn is at least as strong as movie 12 Goku. In my Janemba video, Goku's best feat was shaking hell and reaching Grand Kai's planet. Every guidebook confirms the living universe and other realms such as the demon realm, heaven, and so on being infinite in size, something Koyama himself agrees with. It's also indicated that the other world transcends the 4D living universe, but on a spiritual concept rather than a mathematical dimensional concept. Regardless, even if the other world was finite, Goku still required multi-solar system level of energy to shake the universe, if not high universal level if it was infinite. Likewise, Goku can move in a realm that is implied to not have any flow of time, requiring Goku to have beyond infinite speed or inaccessible speed for him to fight. As such, this requires Hirudegarn to be at similar level to validate Toei's website statement. Weirdly enough, this could be the case because it was legit stated in movie 13's concept art to be the strongest fighter in the universe. Goku was also labeled as the strongest Saiyan raised on Earth. This means he low-key is stronger than Mystic Gohan and the kids since they were raised on Earth except Vegeta. Also, the guidebook labels Gotenks as having transcendent powers than his Fusies. Yet the guidebooks reconfirm Hirudegarn no diff Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks despite his supposed transcendent powers. meaning Goku, who survived Hirudegarn's hits directly and defeated the Majin, surpasses Gotenks. Plus, the guidebooks claim Hirudegarn is a threat to the universe, which Hoi implied was possible since that was his goal. Hell, the cherry on top is that the anime comic guidebook labels Hirudegarn as a god of destruction before the concept of Beerus was created. Only through the strongest fighters and their supposed infinite ki can they win. The last piece of evidence to justify Goku's insane scaling was that he secretly trained to develop his Dragon Fist technique. Now, whether this is all hyperbolic evidence, you can decide on that, but honestly, it's less crazy to believe than simply assuming Hirudegarn is merely city level. My boy Mudkip would curb stomp on this stupid dollar store boule kaiju trash bug. Now, there is one misconception I need to bring up regarding the Dragon Fist technique. That is its inclusion within GT. Most smooth brainers think that
well, it appears in GT, therefore Wrath of Dragon is canon to GT. Therefore, all movies are canon to GT. As such, GT scales to the movies. GT is better than that trash seed writing.
No, I can't believe I need to explain this, but using a technique does not directly connect two separate canons. That is some caveman logic, especially when the guidebook and Toriyama himself explained Goku trains in his free time. GT Goku had 15 years since the defeat of Kid Buu, if not more, to develop a technique. It does not require movie 13 to be GT canon just for Goku to use one move or be as strong as he was in GT. Sorry to those who disagree or who wish I included GT scaling for Hirudegarn, but I do have standards when it comes to accepting certain outrageous scaling logic.
But of course, this is Dragon Ball we're talking about. It has the best writing consistency in all of fiction. I'm just a troglodyte with trash logic and garbage opinions.
Hey guys, Evolution Goku uses Kamehameha, which means he's canon to Silver because MUI Goku used the technique too.
Bruh, Piccolo Jr. scales to Blue Vegeta because that's Vegeta's technique. GT Goku can use technique too. That means he's stronger than Super Goku.
Let's transition on to the rest of its appearances since it's straightforward. The Tenkaichi series laughably kept Hirudegarn's power to the bare minimum, having Tapion state the Majin could lay waste or outright destroy all of Earth in the second game, or be merely town level in the third game. The game bio does at least say Hirudegarn is every bit as strong as it appears, or whatever that's worth, and teleports into mist instead of ectoplasm. Most game recreations like Battle of Z, Dokkan Battle, and Ultimate Tenkaichi have no new exclusive statements other than being a city destroyer. The other games are cameos, starting with Extreme Butoden. At the end of Adventure Mode, occurring in a different reality, Omega Shenron returns and distorts time and space, so Goku challenges him in a final battle. Goku must first battle villains from his past return to life. One of them was Hirudegarn. The Majin dies, but Omega did say it was thanks to Hirudegarn's last batch of negative energy that allowed him to destroy the macrocosm, possibly hinting at the Majin's high power. Though Omega has been collecting energy since the beginning of the story, who knows if it was a lot. After this, Hirudegarn appears in fusions in the time-space rift created for the time-space tournament. The main protagonist and the Saiyan children need to locate the Dragon Balls to grant a wish, so one happens to be near the Majin. Then, plot twist, Baby infected the Majin, gaining control and becoming Baby Hirudegarn. I'm not kidding, someone wrote this. Baby wishes to control everyone and stuff, but the brats defeat Baby and Hirudegarn. Also, Hirudegarn's bio claims it destroyed planet Konets, so either in some reality, it obliterated the planet, or simply laid waste on the planet like its movie counterpart, or was worded differently for this game. On to Xenoverse 2, although Hirudegarn Hirudegarn doesn't appear, I guess there are some small references. One parallel quest has Tapion needing to fight out villains since their negative energy causes Hirudegarn to react and nearly undo Tapion's seal. In the end, Deborah and Omega appear, with the former wanting to kill Tapion and the Majin, but fail if you complete the quest. Then Hirudegarn gets referenced during the Infinite History Saga, where Tapion wants to thank future Trunks for defeating Hirudegarn by fighting Zamasu, unaware it's a different Trunks who aided him, as Chrono has stated, due to the whole multiverse nonsense I'm too aware of these days. Unfortunately, this series refuses to stop connecting Tapion's brave sword to the one future Trunks uses. I don't know why, but the franchise wants us to believe the sword given to Kid Trunks explains how future Trunks gets his, even though that makes no sense. All because of a dumb stock footage credit scene. It was even stated 3 times in other titles. Once in future Trunks' bio for Raging Blast 2, a second time in Battle of Z during a freaking loading screen by Bulma of all people, then finally by the narrator during the film recreation within Ultimate Mission 1. However, other games like Shin Budokai have future Trunks' arcade ending implying it was a gift from someone close. Supersonic Warriors 2 directly spells it out and says future Gohan taught him swordsmanship. Kind of clever and neat reference to Gohan's training with Piccolo. Also, Kakarot easily explains that both swords are similar in design but nothing more. And no, that GT opening does not count cause it's a opening. In slow-mo, the sword is clearly not the same design. Cool it with the GT headcanon, guys. Basically, my point is that multiverse theory was a mistake. Hirudegarn gets another cameo in Ultimate Mission X, where just like in the movie, Hoi lies to Gohan about wanting to free Tapion, but Hirudegarn breaks free and gets beaten. On to the last batch of cameos within Super Dragon Ball Heroes, we get an exclusive scenario for a world mission. Zeno, Trunks, and a group of Heroes players are tasked with stopping time rifts. Deborah arrives at Hero Town, causing havoc and creating more distortions. Trunks tries to defeat the Demon King, but struggle due to the time anomaly increasing Deborah's power. They steal Trunks' power and later escape. The hero player chooses to follow Deborah into the portal, where they get attacked by Tapion and Minio. After defeating the brothers, the heroes explain their intentions to stop Deborah and join forces, as the brothers are also hoping to stop Hirudegarn. Later, we see Hoi and Deborah teaming up, battling the cast and losing. Suddenly, Deborah and his minions receive a Dark Key power-up, channeling Hirudegarn and releasing him from his seal. Despite their raw power and teamwork, Hirudegarn gets destroyed, plus the rest of the demons.
Before we continue, Nums forgot to bring up his 2 transformations introduced within Heroes. The first is Hirudegarn's King of Destruction form that appears in the arcade and in World Mission. The second is his ultimate form, which is nothing different other than having red glowing eyes. We don't know anything else about these forms other than being a power-up. Nums wants to apologize to his viewers for nearly forgetting to include them in this video, and is sorry for being unprofessional, except not really.
Now to end this off, we go over the rest of his appearances in Super Dragon Ball Heroes. Hirudegarn starts well by making a random cameo in the arcade version of the Dark Empire arc. Zeno Goku enters through a portal gate and challenges the Majin, along with Tapion, Hoi, and the Demon God Poutine. What kind of name is that? Zeno Goku wins the battle as expected. Then, the latest known appearance for this video was during the Ultra God mission. The Super Space Time tournament begins, where fighters across the multiverse battle, and Hirudegarn is lucky enough to appear. For the anime version, it gets smacked by hits and I guess loses off screen. The arcade version also has Hit battle Hirudegarn after the Majin tried to attack Jiren. The manga version slightly alters who defeated the demon. Hirudegarn still interrupts Jiren's battle against a certain vegetable, but gets saved by Hit like in the arcade. Meanwhile, Zeno Trunks battle Tapion, who, as a reminder, in all 3 versions, Zeno Trunks does not recognize Tapion. This means all that Brave Sword connection is a bunch of gas superhero Blanco doo-doo garbage nonsense. Suddenly, Hirudegarn rampages. Tapion tries to attack the demon, but cannot bypass its teleportation. Suddenly, Trunks goes Super Saiyan God and speed blitzes the demon hardcore, erasing it. Yep, that is how we end the history of Hirudegarn's journey. Pretty abysmal, I'ma be honest. In conclusion, Hirudegarn is unironically one of the weakest movie villains if and only if you ignore any of the secondary sources. By feats alone, I think anyone can agree there is very little worth noting. I'm sure I'll get some flack saying this, but lowballed, it's city level cause Hirudegarn is constantly labeled to be capable of destroying a city, although that's ironically giving the benefit of the doubt since the Majin is more accurately shown to be a city block destroyer. Comparing the Majin to the Z fighters that have little feats in their reality doesn't help it feat wise, so whether it's stupid to hear that, Hirudegarn's minimum is sadly valid. That said, when including Hirudegarn's lore is when things sound about right, since Toei believes Hirudegarn scales to movie 12 Goku who can shake the universe, mid-ball it jumps to multi-solar system level. Then at max, you can arguably say Hirudegarn is high universal. It depends if you agree Toei's statement is still valid and how far you're willing to scale Fusion Reborn Goku, given the required power to shake an infinite sized realm according to the guidebooks. For an entity to be a presumably universal destroyer, you need to be at least a star destroyer, even if it would take Hirudegarn billions of years to destroy a finite universe, let alone a freaking infinite one, especially if it requires quote unquote infinite energy to win. Without that Toei statement, it's ultimately up to your headcanon to fill in the blanks for how strong you want Hirudegarn to be, since an entire overview barely gives us anything new than what we already know. Hirudegarn's combat speed is no different as well, as much as I try to hype it up. Lowballed, it goes massively hypersonic, since by simple math, Gohan casually dodges Mach speed bullets, and comparable to Goku's Super Saiyan 3 multiplier, he and Hirudegarn can reach that level weirdly enough. Mid-ball to high-ball, it's sub-relativistic to infinite speed. Again, only through Toei's statement can Hirudegarn scale movie 12 Goku's speed. Granted, Hirudegarn's teleportation can low-key give its high-end level normally during combat. I'm aware it would go under Hack's abilities, but even so, reacting to presumably faster than light characters does validate it a bit. Or maybe they just really suck at fighting. I don't know. Makes just as much sense as its attack potency. In case you're wondering, no, I'm not giving Hirudegarn any game or hero section. I mean, if you consider its laws as feats, then sure, Hirudegarn is as broken as everyone else, but ultimately, I don't wish to speculate on Hirudegarn's level beyond what we do know. That is why I'm asking you, how strong do you think Hirudegarn is? Is Hirudegarn the second strongest villain? Or is the Majin a third-rated, watered-down Kaiju Butterfree? Drop your thoughts below in the comments section. We finally reached the end of the road of movie villains, so I hope you enjoyed this marathon. Although Hirudegarn is not what I consider a grand finale for memorable villains, it was still a cool concept had it been given a bit more exploration outside of being a mindless destroying creature. Regardless, I enjoyed looking into all of them and can only hope for better material for future villains. As for me, well, there's still plenty of characters to talk about, so until then, keep on a lookout for more future scaling videos. Massive credit to the boys as usual as well. This is your host Nums, see you then, peace out.